How's it going, everybody? So today I wanted to do a pretty deep discussion video on just the way I've been feeling in my life, in hopes that maybe somebody could relate. I'm very open. Let me just get this out there before I start talking. I would love to hear your guys' advice in the comments or whatever you want to say down below. But in this life experience, right? I've been a pretty happy person for the majority of my life, until about maybe a year and a half ago. I would say there's definitely times where I've felt sad, or like everybody feels sad, but I mean like in a depressive state, before, and it's happened a few times. Like I've gotten pretty sick one time, and that led to it. But this is a lot different right now, what I'm currently experiencing, and I thought that I might just get it out there, and whatever happens happens when this information is out there. But that sounds like I'm like about to drop some top secret knowledge. Sorry, I'm terrible at talking in front of a camera. Still, I want to get better at that. That would be cool. But sorry, I'm going to start the story now. So basically, the last year and a half, or maybe a little bit more of my life, I've really felt numb. And when I say numb, I mean I don't really know how to describe it, but it's almost as if you are living, but you're not actually living. Like you can't really process what you're doing. Like your emotions aren't 100% there for the most part. Like you just really kind of are existing without existing. It's a really weird feeling, and I hope that all of you watching, I'm sure people have completely felt this way, or maybe currently do feel this way, but I hope that the majority of you at least do not have to experience it, because it sucks, because you really almost feel like you don't have a purpose for your life. And of course that can lead to so many sad things and so many bad decisions, because of your lack of care for yourself and just others around you. So I felt this way for a while, and I started dating a girl, and she kind of like brought me out of that state. I'm not really sure how to describe it exactly, but I was happy, you know I was pretty darn happy, and I didn't really recognize that the happiness was because of the person, that much. I just thought that, maybe my mental state was improving, even though I had done nothing to better it. It was just like happening. And I was pretty happy for a while. And then I got back, like, I don't know what hit me, but I woke up one day, and then I just started kind of sinking back into the same mentality, and I projected that into the relationship, and it really ended up ruining it. I didn't treat the person with respect, and I hurt the person really bad. I kind of made a video slightly about it, a bit ago, but this was the same situation, of course. And that ended in the early fall, so around the beginning of October, I'd say. The person just, like I had said before, stopped talking to me, like rightfully so. And I'm not really sure how to describe it, but I actually think that if that didn't happen, I would be in a worse spot right now, because I would never be able to sit here and like process the way that I've been feeling, and like talk to you guys about feelings, because honestly, feelings are kind of a hard thing to talk about for me. Basically, I've been depressed. Like I've had depression in my life multiple times, and I think that it is a subject that can be taken one of two ways. You can either be like, "Oh, you're just, like just get up and do things," or you can actually take it as a serious manner, and be like, "Oh, okay. So what does that mean? Like, how do you help? How can you get out of this state?" And I've tried some of the basic things, but I'll be honest with you guys, the way that I feel ever since like that relationship has ended, has been the worst I've ever felt in my life, because not even necessarily only because of the relationship, but because of the way I had acted. Like I genuinely felt as though like I regret so many things. And there's no way to describe the feeling of regret if you don't already feel it. It is quite literally the worst thing ever. And sometimes I will think to myself, am I actually just this horrible person? And that's what's been clouding my mind for the last couple of months. I've had a really hard time just getting out of the mindset of, oh, you are literally the worst. Like you quite literally made a person feel terrible that you loved, and that they showed love for you and cared for you. And it's basically, like pretty much telling a family member like you don't love them or something. It's the worst thing in the world, and I'm not really sure how to describe the way I'm feeling, but I've had really bad thoughts. I've had, pretty bad days. Um, in terms of mentally, and it just kind of is a slow, dreadful, like saddening, sinking feeling because you just wake up and it's these thoughts in your head of, oh, I made a person feel terrible that I really cared about. And then you'll find some, like, I went about it the wrong way by finding like wow, English Hunter, temporary distractions in terms of whether that be like trying to talk to somebody else, or being like, oh, I can replace the happiness that they gave me by doing this, or drinking, or whatever it may be. All these temporary solutions that, of course, are going to lead to you just getting worse and worse and worse. Um, and I haven't been the best at communicating my feelings ever in my life. And it's something I do want to get better at. And I can say positively, this is the first time that, can't believe I'm saying this, but like, this is the first time that I've genuinely felt, what's the right way to word it? Like, alone, in terms of like, I don't really speak to anyone in a deep manner, hardly. Um, and I don't, like, I have some good friends, but I don't really, like, we don't really get into the deep stuff, if that makes sense. And sometimes I will literally just question why I'm scared of being alone, you know? Because I have this problem myself, that I will always want to fill the void of loneliness with something, distraction, whatever it may be. Because, who wants to feel lonely? Who wants to feel like they don't, aren't liked by others, or whatever you want to call it? Like, for example, been doing YouTube for so long that I kind of got better at this now, but I used to, like, if I would see 30 comments that were positive, I would not even think about it if there was one negative comment. Like, it would just immediately cloud my mind, and that negative comment only would be the only thing that I think about, right? So I just have this bad habit of sinking and sinking and sinking. And sometimes I genuinely wonder to myself, how did I get in a situation where I was so careless towards a person that genuinely like brought me happiness? And what did I do? Like, how did I get myself to this situation to where I'd treat someone poorly that way? And I have good parents. I have a good upbringing. There's no excuse or anything along those lines. So it just genuinely makes me think, am I this horrible person? What's wrong with me? It sounds very sad, and it is, honestly. Like, and I kind of just think to myself every day, like, okay, if I'm acting like that, then what events in my life have caused me to be this person? And there really isn't any. It's just the way that I've been. And I really want to be a good person, and I really want to be a person that spreads happiness into the world. And I believe that's really like the goal of life, for me at least. Or maybe if you're doing a content creation, is to make people happy or laugh or informed or whatever. Um, but I just wanted to express the way that I feel, because I feel very low. And there's a lot of times where I just like get overwhelmed by the emotion, of sadness and just despair, and I'll just not really know exactly what to do. And I've like been pretty inconsistent with lifting recently, even though I've been consistent with it for a while, just because I haven't had any motivation. And anytime that I think about the person that I hurt, it just makes me sit and ponder, and just all the negativity in my brain will just continue to flow and flow and flow. And I understand that, breakups suck, but it's a lot different when you are the person that has hurt the other person in a way that you couldn't even imagine, right? Um, and sure, I regret it like every single day, and it's not even just because of this relationship. I've been feeling this way for a while. I want to feel like, I guess, I don't even know if happy is the right way to describe it, but I want to feel like I am okay being alone. And I watched this video. I think his name is Zerky. This guy's kind of cool. Like, he talks about all these different experiences in life and like feelings and really deep stuff. And I saw him like a few weeks ago, and I've been watching a lot of his videos and just consuming it and being like, yeah, well, there's so many times where he will say something and I'll be like, why do I think like that, you know? And it seems like common sense, but you don't really catch yourself doing things in the moment, and spiraling, and it just kind of happens. It's a very, very hard thing to get out of, especially when you genuinely want to believe. Like, I can't convince myself that I am a good person, like, no matter what I do. And it's not because I commit crimes or I'm, doing something crazy. It's just I really don't know how to get out of a state of regret. And I think regret is one of the worst feelings that you could possibly have in your life, because you can never change it. Um, and for months and months and months, like in a row right now, I've just had this deepening sadness. Um, and I'm just kind of expressing it to y'all because I wanted you guys to know how I was feeling. And I wanted you guys to know that it's okay to talk about your feelings or whatever, the cheesy thing. And I just was, I guess I'm coming here to ask for your guys' advice on how do you move forward, because I know that I can't do that it's alone. And of course, I would do anything to just get back to a state of believing in myself again, I guess, if that makes sense. It doesn't help that, like, there's a lot of things that spiraled in my life at one time, and man, it really sucked. I honestly thought for a second like I was never going to escape this hole of just nothing going on, like no feeling in my body. Like, I genuinely felt that. So I'm very thankful the relationship happened, because although I hurt the person very much and I'll always regret that, um, it has kind of awoken me in a way where I know that I don't want to be that person anymore. And I want to be a positivity, like a positive light towards the world, I guess is one way to word it. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to know my feelings, and I'm still very happy that people watch my videos and do whatever. Like, genuinely, it's still, I don't get why, but I really love making content, and whether that be like just talking or gaming, whatever type of content it is, it always brings me joy. And I want you guys to know that you are a very, like, bright spot in my life and have genuinely made me want to continue. In times where I have felt like giving up or just letting go, So, um, yeah, I guess that's really all I wanted to say here today. Feel free to leave any advice or any of your own stories in the comments. And I just want to be better. I want to be a happy person. And I want to spread positivity into this world. And I know I can't do that alone. So, yeah. Anyways, have a good one, everybody, and peace.